Okay, we'll get started. I'll call the meeting to order. If you could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, welcome to the June 7th, 2018 Town of Riverhead Planning Board meeting. First item on our agenda tonight is discussion item for S-Power Solar Farm. How you doing? If you could, just for the record, your names. We know
Courtney Riley from VHB.
Chris Kent from Farrell Brits, representing S-Power.
And I'm Ryan Galeria from S-Power.
All right, so we're close to preliminary, right?
Yeah, so it's been a while since we've visited S-Power. I just wanted to come in, give the board a update on the revisions done to the site plan before the board votes on the preliminary site plan approval. Overall, the site plan has generally remained the same conceptually. The solar panels will be on one parcel. There's still going to be the generation tie line going across private parcels. We'll go underneath Edwards Avenue through easements down south on the eastern side of Edwards Avenue southward towards a existing collection facility to tie into the grid. The revisions that have been made to the site plan has been revised to use Peconic Avenue, which is an undeveloped paper street, as the yard frontage. The solar panel layout has been revised to comply with new front, side, and rear yard setbacks. They've designed this so that the site will not require any variances for setbacks for the solar panels. The internal road layout of the site has also been redesigned to allow for better vehicular access throughout the site. And the western access point of the solar farm on Middle Country Road has been revised to be 55 foot wide, which would comply with a requirement for the town road right of way if it was ever to be developed, after these solar panels. I mean, those are, in summary, those are the major revisions.
Okay. The easement, I think the last time you were here, the easement, the Bowler property, right?
Yes.
Has that been secured? Is that all worked out?
The Bowler property easement has been secure for a while. We've already done the...
Right, the last time I thought he was still working on it.
Not the easement. The easement we were working on was across Edwards Avenue. And that has been submitted to the town attorney. He's accepted it. He just, his last email to me was that it wasn't proper to sign it at that point in time. But he's prepared to, authorize, to present a resolution to authorize the execution of that easement. We received an email from Bob Kozakevich.
Okay.
And we've provided him the legal description for the easement. We've provided him an exhibit of the location of the easement across Edwards Avenue. We also designed it so that it crossed over Edwards and went 10 foot east of Edwards Avenue before running south, to respect your request that you made at one of our prior meetings.
10 foot east of the town right away, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And that'll follow that all the way to,
Down to the property that was Sutter Sterlington.
That's right.
And then once it's that's basically on the other solar installation site, and then runs down to the collector facility, which is in the southeast corner of the prior site, which is right next to the PSEG substation.
in the resolution, you had a chance to look at it with all the conditions? There's no questions or issues?
I don't sort of see where we're at here. Is everything we talked about?
Yeah.
So we don't have any issues.
Yeah, we don't have any issues. We've discussed this at length over many months with Greg and with staff, and we were prepared for these conditions. We were also prepared for the conditions that were in the consulting engineer's memo, Mr. Gaudiello's memo. We received that and consent to those conditions.
Okay. Any questions from the board? George, nothing? Okay. take it up with the resolution. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next item on the agenda is Jamesport Vineyard Bistro.
Good evening.
Hi. If you could just give your names for the record, please.
Ron Gerler, Jamesport Vineyards.
Joanne Gerler.
Okay, great.
All right, so the planning department has received and reviewed a site plan application which is seeking to legalize a 477 square foot outdoor pizza oven addition, which was constructed without any permits or approvals from the town, as well as an outdoor patio and trellis area and some walkways. The purpose of this will be for the operation of a 49-seat pizza bistro. The property is located within the rural corridor zoning district. In the district, bistros and cafes are especially permitted use. The applicant has made the special permit application before the town board. We have presented before the town board. They currently have a public hearing scheduled. Town board generally seemed to be in support of it during the presentation. The applicant is also seeking to expand the parking area in order to accommodate the installation of additional parking and the installation of ADA handicap accessible parking spaces. They're also proposing new lighting improvements throughout the property and a new sanitary wastewater system. The winery use, according to building department records, the winery use and tasting room was established by a building permit in October of 1993 and was issued a certificate of occupancy in November 1993. Now, the site has never gone under, it's never been reviewed by the planning board before. The winery use was established sort of before the wineries started booming, and it kind of got in before that, so this is the first opportunity for the planning board to weigh in on it and impose any conditions that they may wish to consider. It's a 4.12 acre parcel located at 1214 Main Road on the north side of the road, approximately 900 feet east of Tuttle's Lane. It's presently improved with a two-story single-family residence, roughly 3,700 square foot two-story building, which is used as the winery and tasting room, a 518 square foot garage, and a 240 square foot shed. The proposed action is an unlisted action pursuant to SECRA. Coordinator review is optional and not recommended. Staff has reviewed the application, and the proposed special permit use and site plan are not expected to have a significant impact on the surrounding environment or the overall operation of the site. Staff recommends that a negative declaration be issued. In terms of the seating for the site plan, the floor plan includes seating calculations for the indoor and outdoor areas of the winery and tasting room. The floor plan shows 28 indoor seats and room for 9 people standing at the indoor wine bar, as well as 12 seats at the outdoor wine bar. Total occupancy of these combined areas is 49 seats, which complies with the maximum allowable seating for a bistro, which is 50 seats pursuant to the town code. During a site visit on page 3 of my staff report, I took a picture of the existing parking area. The existing parking area is gravel. It lacks any physical delineation for parking spots. As such, the amount of existing parking is sort of difficult to ascertain. The site plan is proposing to expand this area with additional gravel parking on site. At the recommendation of planning staff, the applicant is proposing to use concrete stops throughout the parking lot in order to provide some measure of physical delineation so that it doesn't just become a free-for-all. There will be some measure of where people are supposed to park. It is noted that there's a small discrepancy on the parking calculations. The site plan in the parking calculations indicates a total of 50 seats, whereas the floor plan only seats 49. This is a small error that should be corrected on revisions. However, it is noted that the total amount of required parking is only 17 stalls based on the town code. The applicant is proposing 38, which is significantly over. This can do nothing but help to alleviate parking and congestion during peak operating hours.
So what was the discrepancy in the parking then?
I think it might have just been,
Just the count?
yeah, one says 50, one says 49,
Oh, okay.
but
They
site
have
plan
more
is-
than enough.
Absolutely.
Okay.
With regards to the lighting, the site plan is proposing 4 LED pole-mounted lighting fixtures in the parking lot. The fixtures are dark sky compliant, and they are 3,000 degree Kelvin, which complies with the town code. It's just the lighting levels are appropriate throughout the site, and they do not indicate any light trespass onto neighboring properties. However, the heights of these fixtures need to be clarified, as it's not indicated on the plan. Maximum height is 16 feet above grade. The town engineer reviewed the site plan. He had no comments on it. The site plan was referred to the state DOT due to its location on State Route 25. And the comments that we got back from the DOT were that the extent of the work will not have a significant impact on the highway system. A permit will not be required from them as long as all of the work is progressed outside of the state highway right-of-way. It was referred to the Suffolk County Planning Commission. It was considered to be a matter of local determination. The proposed sanitary system will require approval from the Suffolk County Department of Health Services Wastewater Management Unit, and the establishment of the bistro will require approval from the Suffolk County Department of Health Services Food Control Unit. The plans were referred to the Riverhead Water District, and comments are currently pending from them. It was also noted during review, I have an addendum to my staff report. It was when I was researching historical aerial images of the site, it does appear that that outdoor patio I had spoken about was constructed sometime between 2010 and 2013. One thing that I did identify on page 3 of the addendum, you can see that there are seats and tables outside on that patio area. That does prove to be problematic because, as I stated, bistros by town code are limited to a maximum of 50 seats. So if the applicant wishes to be able to operate this bistro in a legal manner, they need to perform these calculations and determine, they need to have 50 seats, no more. So if it's determined that those seats on the patio will put them over the threshold, those seats will need to be removed. There are some calculations that need to be performed on the patio. The size needs to be clarified, and it needs to be provided for in parking calculations. It's recommended that it be calculated at the rate of 1 space per 100 square feet of patio area for occupancy rates. Now, because this patio area was constructed without any sort of approvals pursuant to town code, the site plan fee for that disturbed area will need to be doubled, and that will need to be paid for before. That will need to be paid before any approvals can be rendered by the planning board. But overall, pretty straightforward. Did the board have any questions, or?
Do you live in the home?
Do I live where?
In the home?
In Jamesport? I did at one point. Right now, nobody's currently living there.
Nobody's living, I'm just, wondering the impacts of a residence. You own the home also?
Yes,
You do,
yes.
okay. So
It's all part of the property, yes.
Okay, just wanna make sure that the resident of that home is not gonna be impacted by,
What are your typical hours of operation?
Typically, we're open anywhere from 10 o'clock until 7 o'clock.
And do you ever have any special events there?
We do. We have a summer jazz series that we perform every year, which the town has approved.
By special permit?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
one other question. Do you have handicap parking there?
Well, that's a part of the site plan,
Okay,
of the
so-
upgrade. Yep.
And the number of seats that you need to comply with, you'll have to reduce your benches out there?
Well, right now, because of the nicer weather, the seats were moved out from the inside. They were inside, and as the weather got nicer, people want to sit outside, and so and we do tastings out there also.
But Greg said they
This is
can't
for the
have.
Well, there can't be more than 50 seats, whether it's,
Yeah.
outside and inside.
Combination.
There needs to be no more than 50.
Understand.
And just so the board's aware, I did look into the IPS system for the town. The property has never had any history of complaints. I did research to see if there was any noise complaints, any violations from town code, and I didn't see any history on the property.
Okay, well, the public will have a chance at the hearing, so. The entry and exit there out of your entrance, it's not an issue with the cars going in and out,
It's two driveways that are 25.
driveways, so
25
it's-
feet wide, each one.
even when you have your events, it flows,
No,
okay?
We have additional overflow also on site.
And when you have your special events, do they go past 7 PM?
Typically around 8, well, they're during the summertime, so as the light gets lighter, they typically, about 8 o'clock they do end.
Would be the latest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? No. Okay, we'll schedule a hearing under the resolutions, all right?
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, next item on the agenda is a public hearing for a subdivision by Asuna and Ifkovitz. If you could, up to the podium, please. We do the public hearings up at the podium so that the public can come up also. If you could just state your name for the record.
Pete Ifkovitz?
Okay, can you just explain to the public and for the record exactly what you're proposing to do here?
Sure. Me and my wife own a piece of property on Beach Road in Wading River that also abuts Herod Point, the road directly behind. We would like to subdivide or unmerge that piece of property to have 2 pieces of property, one on Beach Road, one on Herod Point.
Okay, and even with the subdivision, the lot sizes would be consistent with the rest of the neighborhood, right?
Absolutely. Definitely on the larger side of the neighborhood. Most of the lots are actually smaller than even what the subdivision would result in.
Okay. I don't know, this is kind of straightforward. Anything else?
Not really.
Okay. Anyone from the public want to ask any questions to the applicant? Anyone from the public? If you could come up to the podium and just state your name for the record.
My name's G.B. Rossi. I live across the street from Pete. I spoke with him on the phone, just getting an idea of, I got a certified letter in the mail today. That's why I'm here. If he needed my support or to find out exactly, you know, what was going to happen with the property, but I spoke with him earlier today, and he explained what he intended to do in the future, hopefully. And that's all.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Anyone else from the public have any questions or comments? Okay.
Make a motion that the, excuse me, public hearing of Osana and Ifkovitz
Ifkovitz. Thank
be
you.
closed. So
Before we close it, the applicant has not yet received the variance from the zoning board of appeals. In the absence of Mr. Ehlers, I might recommend keeping the public hearing open. I might maybe
Well-
err on the side of caution, just because I don't,
Well, if we just won't approve the
subdivision.
yeah, we can close the hearing, but we won't go forward until that's satisfied
All right.
or completed.
I'll second.
Okay, motion made and seconded to close the public hearing for Osuna and Ifkovitz. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Public hearing's closed. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good evening, everyone.
Two. Okay, before we do the resolutions, anyone from the public want to comment on the resolutions? Any public input on the resolutions? Okay, number 1.
Resolution 243 of 2018 to schedule a public hearing regarding a site plan application, construct a new signalized intersection on Old Country Road to the far west of the site, allowing for all turning movements both in and out.
Second motion.
Okay, motion made and seconded to approve Resolution 43 for Hilton Garden Inn, to schedule a public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Resolution's approved. Number 2 on the agenda.
Resolution number 44 of the Red Planning Board is approving a preliminary site plan approval for S-Power. So moved.
Second.
Okay, just a comment before we vote on this. My opinion is that Riverhead is getting more than their fair share of these solar farms that are popping up. And I don't think, you know, there's a long-term plan for looking at these. So I'm concerned, I'll just say I'm concerned about the number of solar farms popping up in this area. And again, I think Riverhead is getting more than their fair share. But I will vote yes because the applicant did go through great lengths and the additional environmental review, they complied with everything we asked for. So I will vote yes on this one, but I do have concerns going forward on additional solar farms in town. So all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution's approved.
I'll move resolution 45 of the Riverhead Town Planning
just-
Board for chapter
Just
290
discussion, 1 second.
for Dawn and James Vogel.
Okay. Jeff had a quick question. All these improvements on their personal, there's some repairs, all the repairs and improvements gonna be on their property? Is it beachfront?
Yes, yes, they have provided a survey that Penny Gordiello and I had requested as part of the application process, so these improvements are on their property.
Okay. Go ahead, Chairman.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Resolution is approved.
Resolution 46, 2018, for chapter 219 of Dr. Darush Eli. Excuse me if I missed that one, but resolution to approve chapter 219 application, construct additions to an existing single-family residential structure located 180 Creek Road, Wading River.
Second the motion.
Okay, motion made and seconded to approve Resolution 46 for Chapter 219. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Resolution's approved.
I'll move resolution 48 for Jamesport Vineyard Bistro, schedule a public hearing for a site plan application. So moved. Second.
Okay, motion made and seconded to approve Resolution 48 for Jamesport Vineyard Bistro to schedule a public hearing. All in favor? Opposed? Resolution's approved. I think we skipped over
Number
47,
five.
right? Did we? It's okay.
47, 2018, chapter 219, Kenneth and Ellen Globus. Approve a chapter 219 application for the restoration of 560 square feet of vegetation at 856 Sound Shore Road, Northville.
I'll second.
Okay, motion made and seconded to approve Resolution 47 for Chapter 219. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Resolution's approved. Number 7.
I'll move resolution 49 for Old Orchard at Bating Hollow to extend the performance bond for a period of 2 years. So moved.
Second the motion?
Okay, motion made and seconded to approve Resolution 49 to extend the performance bond for Old Orchard at Bating Hollow. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is approved. Okay, any comments from the public on any matter in front of the planning board? Anyone from the public? Okay, meeting minutes of May 17th.
I'd like to move the planning board minutes from May 17, 2018. So moved.
Okay, motion made and seconded to approve the minutes of May 17th. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. Okay, next meeting will be June 21st, I'm sorry, at 3 PM. Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Okay. Thank you.
Wow.